And this Bayer Leverkusen side, despite losing in a shocking 3-0 final against Atalanta in the Europa League final, were able to bounce back and get that one last win and that other trophy that they were up for. So they can't complete the treble, but they do win two in what has been the greatest story of football this season, overcoming a red card as well, having to play an entire second half. Alexis, down a man. What was your biggest takeaway from the job that Bayer Leverkusen did? This was a different looking game than we perhaps have seen from them in terms of some of the hurdles that they had to overcome.
Yeah, and if you remember from the betting segment, I bet over 2.5 goals because I thought, oh, Kaiserslautern's going to get, Kaiser slaughtered. And it turns out that's not what happened. Kusanu with the red card with 2 yellows. And you could see it on Xabi Alonso's face. You're like, dude, not again. I mean, you go 51 games unbeaten. Credit to you, by the way. You were very staunch on Atalanta being the perfect team to beat them. You were 100% right, so I want to give you credit for that. But when it comes to Leverkusen, obviously Kaiserslautern, they were outclassed, even with a man up. They really weren't finding good opportunities. You saw some of the chances they took. There wasn't really much. I think Bayer Leverkusen understood, okay, we lost. That monkey's off our back. Let's win this last. And I think they're only the fifth. I believe they're the 5th team to do the double in Bundesliga, which is impressive. They've had a wonderful season. It ends with another trophy. They get the double out of the way, and now next season retool because Bayern Munich's gonna come. They're gonna come for those trophies. Yeah,
Tony, when you look at Bayer Leverkusen and just having to overcome that red card is at the point in the game in which it happened, this team was kind of perfectly built though for that type of moment. With you go unbeaten that many games in a season, that just tells me you know how to win games.
Yeah, well, what did we say, 13 or 14 that they came back after 90 minutes. 4 times they were down, including in Europa League to Karabag twice, down 2 goals, and they end up coming back after 90 minutes. Look, you couldn't have written this season for me any better. And if you would have said to Leverkusen, take out the 51 games, that you're going to win 2 trophies this season, man, they would have signed up in a heartbeat. Yeah. Because we talk about the 51 games. I don't know that we'll ever see it again, at least in our lifetime. It's incredible, the run that they made. But I don't know if Leverkusen's going to win another trophy next year. We have no idea, right? You mentioned Alexis, Bayern Munich, of course. Dortmund. What is Leipzig going to do? I mean, there's so many different obstacles year after year. It never looks the same. That's why what the Man Cities of the world do, what Real Madrid does in Champions League, that's what makes those moments so special, because it's so hard to do it over and over again.
I think in this game in particular, that goal that Xhaka scores, it's not like it happens once. I went back and watched all their goals. They're scoring goals from every single different phase of play, but these long-distance range goals, they scored like 7, 8 plus. I mean, this was just like he's making it look so easy. I mean, it's inside of the foot. And then the red card comes, and then it becomes a little bit of a question in a match. But what they've done and what they've accomplished,
like
obviously,
stretching the
That's what girls are doing in the breaks.
The hip flexor there. So, but I think what they've done has been nothing short of incredible. It's just that if they found the result against Atalanta, they would have accomplished the unbeaten treble, which then for sure we would have seen something that's never been done in history. Right. So we're talking about 1 game away. You're talking about 90 minutes, an hour and a half away from something that we probably won't ever see. And we're talking about from the Man Cities, the Bayern Munichs, the Real Madrids, the PSGs. I mean,
it was a team that when Xavi took over in 2022 was towards the bottom of the table.
That close. I mean, what they've done is history. It's incredible. It's everything. We've been talking about it for months now. But they were that close to doing something that was inconceivable.
So that's exactly how I feel, and it's really hard to nitpick a team that went on the run that they did, won 2 trophies, 51 unbeaten, all the storylines. Does it make it a little disappointing? Like, it's
yes.
hard.
No,
yes.
If
I'm not going to say
on that
yes.
team, I'm disappointed. You were 1 game away, and you got outclassed against Atalanta.
It's their 2nd ever Pokal. It's their 1st Bundesliga. I mean, this is a wonderful season.
Definitely.
I'd hate to say take anything away because of what could have been. And in a way, I'm actually kind of glad they lost the game. somewhere, maybe not domestically, which makes it great that they got an undefeated domestic season. But there's something about the lure of football that no one can complete it. No one can completely figure it out. As a comic, we always talk about like the chase for the perfect joke. There really is no, but it's that chase for it that makes you even better. That's the exciting part, is the journey. That next year there's something else to work on. There's something else to do. I don't know if they're going to be able to complete 51 games unbeaten again, but there's always something missing. Football will always win. The house always wins in a casino, and football always wins. You can't complete it. You can't figure it out. It's not a Rubik's Cube.
They were close. They were close.
I don't know.
Super close. Close as anyone's ever gotten.
They were one turn away. It just makes it a little disappointing for me.
So glad
I don't know,
they won it, though. I'm
so glad
they
for
put
their
that second
sake.
trophy in.
Yeah, and it was, the storylines were still there in so many ways because of Leverkusen having no success. They win their first Bundesliga title. They appear in their second DFB-Pokal. And Tony, for them next season now, the emotional toll of this season has to be significant.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I hope they're not judged by, hey, they lose in like the fifth week of the season, like, it's blown up, because that's what it's going to be. But I've said for how many weeks now here on the show, like, I can't believe 51 games. We interviewed one manager in Major League Soccer a couple of weeks ago they were on a 6-game. At the time, Leverkusen was like on 46 games or something. And he said, this manager in MLS was Pablo Mastroeni, actually, here on the show. And he said, the thought of doing this like 8 more times, and he's like 6 games unbeaten at that time, because the thought of doing this is almost impossible to do.
Do you guys remember your longest streak?
Longest win streak? Oh, God.
It's
not hard.
The start of 2000 season, when we won the championship at Kansas City, we went 13 games unbeaten to start the season.
And that felt like a lifetime,
and it
probably.
I thought the season was over at that point. Like, it was over.
Us a trophy.
You're like,
now.
we good, dude.
We're done. We won, right?
What's the mercy rule? You're checking.
I will say this, though, right? The expectation, right, of Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso comes in, we're going to play this football, we're going to play this way, this is our identity. They played great football, by the way.
Absolutely.
But the expectation was, hey, let's see where this takes us. We have to compete, but they didn't set out for this season, right? Next season, there'll be the expectation of not to be unbeaten, none of that.
And you got
craziness.
the target on your back.
You got the target on your back.
Case.
It's like having a $1,000 rent payment. You go out with your friends on the weekend, you blow a ton of money on the food and the restaurant and the drinking, and then all of a sudden you got this $4,000 mortgage payment. You got a few kids, and now all of a sudden it's like the weight of that. And that's what's going to happen at Leverkusen. There is going to be weight. There is going to be expectation. They got to go and defend these titles that they want.
That came from the
pressure. The pressure of like, you got to get it done now.
We can't get bottles at the club because the kid needs braces. It's not from my side of the family. It's from my side of the family. We got straight to it. We're like, yo, Grella, you good, dog?
You need to talk after the show.
For instance, if I bring $1,000 to Chase, they're going to say, yeah, you're a few $1,000 light here.
This is why I think Xabi should have left, man. The expectations are going to be way too high
but for his career, this is good. I like the idea of staying because he doesn't necessarily need a big club. He's going to go to a big club one day. It's in the cards for Xavi based on what he did. But maybe he needs to refine the tools a little bit. He's still a young manager, so I like the idea of staying at this club.
But I thought you said Thiago Motta in the meeting room before should have stayed at Bologna.
No, I didn't say that.